The butler came in, carrying the tea tray, and was followed by the parlour-maid with a tray of cakes and pastries.
"There is a Dr. Harris in the entrance hall, ma'am. He claims to know you."
"Then let him in immediately." Mrs. Frogerton clapped her hands. "Did you know the dear doctor was coming to visit us, Caroline?" "I did not," Caroline replied. "I only correspond with Rose Harris about my sister Susan's educational needs. I have no contact with the doctor himself." Mrs. Frogerton had offered to help pay Susan's fees at the boarding school in Norwich, for which Caroline was immensely grateful. She'd been unhappy about leaving Susan with their invalid aunt and the Greenwood family after such a series of tragedies. Mrs. Frogerton had insisted that she bore some responsibility for the dire situation Susan found herself in, and had refused to take no for an answer. Dr. Harris came in, looking his usual forbidding self. His dark hair needed cutting, but at least his linens were well starched, and his coat was free of darns. He bowed to his hostess and Caroline.
"Mrs. Frogerton, Miss Morton, what a pleasure to see you both again."
Caroline raised an eyebrow at his pleasant tone. Last time they'd spoken, he'd been less than communicative, which had been rather frustrating. The camaraderie they'd shared while solving the murders at her aunt's house party had disappeared, and she wasn't sure whether to be pleased or vexed about it. "Dr. Harris, what brings you to London?" He smiled at Mrs. Frogerton.
"I have taken a position at St. Thomas's Hospital, ma'am. I will be teaching new students and attending patients on the wards."
"How wonderful!" Mrs. Frogerton smiled warmly at him. "Then I hope you will be a frequent visitor to my door, sir. Caroline and I always enjoy your company." Dr. Harris's sceptical gaze flicked toward Caroline, who tried to look as if the matter had never occurred to her. "Have you secured yourself adequate lodgings?" Mrs. Frogerton asked.
"I have, ma'am. The boarding-house is quite close to the hospital grounds. I can walk to work in 5 minutes, and the rent is reasonable."
"This is good news." Mrs. Frogerton winked at Caroline. "I thought we might be offering the good doctor one of our attics." "I'm sure Dr. Harris wouldn't mind the one with the hole in the roof and the rain coming through it," Caroline said sweetly. "He is very resilient."
Dr. Harris looked revolted. "I am well situated, thank you, Miss Morton. I do not require charity."
"Oh, I'm sure Mrs. Frogerton would insist that you pay rent, sir. She doesn't approve of hangers-on, do you, ma'am?"
"I do not. Even my son knows that,"
Mrs. Frogerton said firmly.
"Learning to pay your own way builds character. Now, would you like some tea, Dr. Harris?"
"Thank you, ma'am." Dr. Harris went over to collect his cup and sat beside Caroline as his hostess helped herself to the tiny cakes.
"I hear from my sister that Susan has adapted well to her new environment."
"She has indeed." Caroline placed a plateful of cakes at Dr. Harris's elbow. "Rose has been immensely kind to her."
"I understand that Susan still believes her cousin Mabel will come and fetch her."
Dr. Harris drank most of his cup of tea in one swallow.
"Has there been any more news of her whereabouts?"
"All I know is that she succeeded in leaving England and is somewhere in Europe, presumably with Harry," Caroline said. "I must confess that I try not to involve myself in the Greenwood family's affairs."
"Understandably."
Dr. Harris frowned at the cake selection.
"Why are they so small?"
"Because they are meant to look decorative for afternoon tea and for callers who rarely bother to eat them," Caroline explained.
"Typical."
Dr. Harris snorted as he picked up a delicate meringue and popped it into his mouth.
"I'll need at least a dozen to make up for one currant bun for a penny from the baker's shop."
Dorothy came into the drawing-room, and Dr. Harris rose to his feet.
"Good afternoon, Miss Frogerton."
Dorothy looked him up and down. She wore a dress in her favourite pink, with a triple flounce of lace at the hem, and her hair was elaborately coiffed. "Why are you here? Has someone died?" Her mother shuddered.
"I do hope not. We had enough of that at Greenwood Hall to last a lifetime. I merely came to pay my respects to your good selves."